Right here.
Okay, good evening. My name is Tiffany Reynolds, and I am a social worker at the Bullitt County Board of Education. I am the McKinney-Vento liaison for the homeless education program for our district. And I'm here to talk to you tonight about the face of homelessness in our district. Typically, we have about 400 students per year for our district, and with those students, they lack a fixed, regular nighttime residence. I know a lot of times we don't see these students in Mount Washington. We don't see them in Shepherdsville. We don't see them in Hillview, but they are here. They are in our county. These students live doubled up with their family and friends. They couch surf. They often have substandard housing with mold, or they do not have plumbing. They do not have electricity. They live in housing that's not meant to be inhabited. A lot of them are living in sheds. They're living in storage units. They're living in places that you could not imagine. Okay? Some of them are living in campers, vehicles, motels, and shelters. These kids are unaccompanied youth. They do not have their parents. I'm an emotional person, I apologize. I cannot imagine being these students, and I help them every day without their parents, a lot of them. This happens because of economic hardship, but it also may happen because of family crisis, divorce. They may not agree with their child's sexuality. They may not agree because of a family conflict, and this child is discarded. But the reason why I'm here is I feel that we are failing these students and families in our county. We, in the city of Mount Washington and in our county as a whole, we do not provide a facility for these students. We do not provide adequate transitional housing for them. We do have Housing First, but that does not serve our students. It is a women and children's shelter. However, when you have an 18-year-old boy, and I call it a boy because that is exactly what it is, an 18-year-old boy, they turn them away. Okay? And they have nowhere to go. But they want to graduate from high school. So where do they go? I count them lucky if they have a couch to go to. I count them lucky if they have a friend to stay with. But no lie, we have children in sheds. We have children in storage units. We have children in vehicles in our county. So these students are at risk for dropout, obviously. These students are at risk for sexploitation, for victimization. They lack a safe, stable environment to just get the free education that all of us deserve. So, and then, but I see them every day, and many are striving and getting where they need to be. But it would be wonderful for me to be able to work with these students and be able to give them a safe place to go. And that's what I'm asking for today, is for some help with that from the city of Mount Washington.
Thank you.
What did you say the number was?
We average 400 a year.
That started.
Is that 400 separate individuals per year?
400 students.
Students?
And that's not counting their parents
Yeah,
and the rest.
okay.
Is that, is that an average of like over so many years, or has that
Per
increased?
year. Per year.
Per year.
Most of these students come to school every day, even though they are homeless?
A lot of them do.
You mean 50% of them come to school, or 75% of them come to school?
I could get you numbers on that. And we have transportation. That's another barrier for these kids, because We do, as them being McKinney-Vento, we do have to, by law, provide transportation for them wherever they are at. We provide gas cards. The buses are required to go get them. But it is a struggle to go find them and get them wherever they are at. Some of them have to catch a ride or get rides with friends or walk to school or get whatever way they can. Many of them are very resilient.
If 400 of them asked you for transportation, does the school board have the availability to get them transportation?
That is very difficult in these pandemic times.
Okay.
We have to be very creative.
So are you finding out how most of these children are homeless because they're not coming to school?
We get a lot. There's a lot of different ways to get referrals. Attendance clerks are wonderful. Bus drivers are wonderful. People on the front lines, counselors, teachers. We find out from all kinds of different places. That's why I say it averages 400 students, but there are students out there that are homeless that we don't know about. Parents get scared thinking we aren't living in district, we aren't living where we're supposed to be living. We're afraid that our kid's going to get kicked out of school, and they do not realize that they are protected by law.
That's why I was asking you how many children that were out there that were in school or not, because if that was the case, you don't have a daily connection with these kids.
Right.
Right?
That's another thing.
You might be 300 out there that you're not even touching.
Right.
Any other questions from anyone?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
If anyone wanted to talk to you, I could catch you at the Bullitt County Board of Education.
Board of Education, yeah.
Okay. I have Perry. I think we've seen you before, Perry.
Yes, and I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine, and she's going to tell a little bit about her story before I talk. And it has to do with Tiffany, what Tiffany just talked about. Because what Mark 12 is trying to do is strive to be the only net in our county, because we have no net. Again, we're a resource desert. I came here about 6 weeks ago and was told that there was going to be public hearings about the ARPA money. Still haven't seen those hearings. That's money the federal government has intended for this exact reason. Again, all the communities in our state are already using it and putting it to good use, except for here at Bullitt County. But I'm going to let Loni talk real quick. This is my friend Loni.
Hello. I am 18 years old and I am homeless. I therefore have been homeless for about 6+ months now. And I have lived in the van with my family for a while now. Therefore, I have to walk. I have to find rides. I have to find every way possible just to eat at night. Even just getting up is a struggle just to make sure I can even get to school. I've had to be separated from my family at night just so I can make it. I have to have my grandpa take me and my brother every morning just to make it to school on time. And doing that, it's not okay with me. My family is my family, and I have to be separated from them because of me being homeless. And having something or someone help us is more than just someone else's voice, someone else's actions. And I think my family and everyone else's deserves to be heard, deserves to be seen, deserves to be taken care of, because not everyone has that. Me and my brother's 14, I'm going to be 18. I have to be the big sister and step up for him, because my family could not, because they took us away from them at night because we were living in a van. That's not fair to me and my brother. We don't deserve that. That's our parents. That's our siblings. That's who we are. That's our home. We had our home taken from us and lied from the own landlord himself and said that he was going to sell our house out from beneath us and told us the person was going to buy it. We got kicked out. Everything of ours got put into a dumpster. Our belongings, our clothes, our food, everything. We had nothing left but our clothes. Not even food. And we were stuck in the van for a good winter. We got kicked out on Christmas Eve. We had to spend Christmas in a van together. And I don't think any family should have to go through that. Some people may see a difference, may have a different point of view, but mine, it needs to be heard. Children should not have to go through this. I think any child should need a safe place to go, even if that means a shelter, a place to lay their head, a pillow, somewhere. Not in a vehicle or somewhere where it's dusty. Somewhere where they can get up, go to school, and get their education and be able to be them. And being homeless tears it apart. Again, like I said, it tore me and my family apart. I don't see them every day like I wish I could. I see my family at least 2.5 hours every day. Just getting off school, and I have to go straight to my grandpa's house just so I can make it to school the next day. And that's not fair. No child should have to go through that. And if I shall ask, please help. Please.
You guys have any questions for Loni?
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
So, in talking to Tiffany, we're doing our best that we can do for the county. But again, our hands are tied. We're limited. We don't have a facility yet. We're getting requests now. I have an email from the Attorney General's office that came through the governor's office because funds are tapped in the community action and fellowship of concern, and people are getting their electric turned off, they're getting their water turned off. Again, this is money that our cities and our counties have been given by the federal government, that the buck stopped with you guys. It's not getting out to those who are in need. We have the winter coming up. We're still trying to find a building for the White Flag Shelter. This will be our 4th year. We've ministered at this point to close to 300 individuals from our county that are homeless, and it's a wide range. Addiction is a problem, yes. Mental health is a problem, but I will tell you that's only about 40% of the problem. The other is things like our county doesn't have renters' rights. And so what happened to the Clark family is something that happens a lot more than you probably even are aware of, in that a landlord can just say, get out. Or they can say, hey, I know your bathroom hasn't worked for a month. You can leave because I got a waiting list. That's something we're dealing with in Lebanon Junction and partnering with Jenny at the Turnaround Center. And so, I just ask 2 things. One, I brought a proposal to you 6 weeks ago. Again, consider that proposal. And 2, just to ask the question, when are those hearings going to happen so that Mark 12 can submit requests for grants. Again, we're not looking for any operational monies. Mark 12 is operationally sound. We have churches, organizations, and associations that pay for our operational expenses. We are looking for a one-time facility grant. And our belief is that if all the cities in our county could lock arms together with the churches to put this facility, and we're going to either call it the Bethany Center or Cornerstone Center, where we can provide transitional housing, where we can provide Room to Inn is coming underneath Mark 12's umbrella, where we can provide for those ladies and gentlemen that are in the work transition program a safe place to be so that they can make it to the next level. We think that we could really start to take a bite out of not only the homelessness in our community, but also the poverty, and start to make a real change
Perry,
in that.
there's not anybody up here on the city council that does not fully endorse and understand the situation of children, parents, and anybody that's homeless. We do understand that. And I want you to know that we spent $80,000 in an area right on the other side of that room right there for room at the inn. And there was some issues going on with that that's no longer available, but I'm just telling you that. And anything that I say up here, I certainly do not want it to come out as though I'm not certainly in favor to helping any way we can. But there's other issues in Mount Washington as well as these issues with homeless. And we have not met because we are trying to make sure that we're spending the money from ARPA the way the federal government has stipulated it to be spent. And I don't want to end up 2 years from now or 3 years from now when they come back down here on the city of Mount Washington and say, hey, you shouldn't have spent that money there. You shouldn't have done this. There's quite a bit to that law and to what we can do. And I'm just telling you, we're going to do the best we can and help any way we can, if at all possible.
Yeah. And I completely understand that, Mayor.
I hope
Yeah,
you do, because you come off and you told me a while ago that we weren't acting fast enough. There's issues involved around this.
Well,
you can't just do that over 1 week.
Well, it's not been, I understand that, sir. I came 6 weeks ago. I had been on the conference calls with the Homeless Coalition beginning in February of this year, talking about the ARPA money. Their grant writing process for Jefferson County and Louisville ended in September. They've already distributed funds. And so if I say that it feels like we are not moving quickly, being the 10th largest and this being the fastest growing city in the state of Kentucky.
They are entitlement cities that you're mixing in here, that some aren't and some are not. And we have to go back into our revenue and make sure that we have to replace that revenue and do it properly and legally. And I understand totally where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You're kicking a dead horse, I'm telling you, because we understand we've already acted last year before that, with trying to help room at the inn. And we would not have done that had we not had the desire to help people just like Tiffany. And I know that that's a problem in a case, and I know there's nobody out here in this audience that doesn't understand that as well. And we're certainly going to look into it. We're going to get it handled as quickly as we possibly can.
Okay.
And I appreciate you coming.